Your Country 1039 KGRT, Jelly Roll, and Son of a Sinner.
Time now for your question of the day. Brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Markets of Las Cruces. Fresh produce, bread, meat, honey, food trucks, handmade art, music, and more. Every Saturday and Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., downtown Las Cruces.
That's right. Time for our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. And today I am bringing up the greatest thing ever in the world, and that is parenthood, or in particular, motherhood. Yeah, I saw this this recent thing that Board Panda had done. They recently asked a lot of women to write down what some of the silliest things that they happened to cry over when they were pregnant. Now, if you've been pregnant, you kind of know that the emotions go a little bit wild, and if you've been around anyone who is pregnant, you kind of know how some of those emotional things get a little bit wild, and that's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. It really is. But some of the responses were pretty interesting when they asked these people to name these. The silliest things that they cried over when they were pregnant, like putting Legos in the refrigerator. And just that statement in itself has me asking so many questions. Sure, you might cry because of that, but don't want to know why the Legos are going in the refrigerator anyway. But other things that were kind of silly, like serving keys instead of a drink. Yeah, get a little emotional about that. Craving out of control cravings. I think that's just standard right there. Crying over spilt lotion. Okay. Or feeling emotional over a microwave meal. Yes, that culinary classic, the microwave meal. Those are indeed silly, but I'm sure that there's a whole lot of other things that are out there as well. So, moms, if you want to think back to those times when you were carrying your little one, were there any silly things that you may have cried over? Yeah. So, moms, what's the silliest thing that you have cried over when you were pregnant? And family members, if you have a family member that was pregnant, do you ever notice what anything silly that they were crying about? Yeah, let's see how silly we can get. But go ahead and let me know your answers for our question of the day. 575-523-KGRT is the number. That's 575-523-5478. Yeah, just go ahead and give me a call or send that text message to let me know and answer our question of the day. And don't forget, we are live on our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, so you can go ahead and leave your answers there as well. Our question of the day today, moms, mothers, what is the silliest thing that you cried over when you were pregnant? Crazy emotions, right? That is our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. All right, exclusively up on our social media pages. And like I said, this is the greatest thing ever, the idea of parenthood and motherhood in general. That's my personal belief right there. So, sometimes the emotions will get a little wild, just a little bit, little touch out of there. I could tell a great story that my son likes to tell about, when his mom was, I'm not going to tell it. Not this time anyway, not appropriate. But there are some silly things that, you kind of get emotional over. But at the time, not so silly. So can you name a few? Do you remember any of those silly things that you may have cried over when you were pregnant? So, yeah, the whole family can get involved in this one. It'll be fun. But let me know your answers. Once again, you can call them in. You can text them. Oh, I got a call right now. Let me see if I can get that. Hold on. KGRT, who am I talking to? Give me just a second here. I got to make sure that I got you in here. There it is. Okay, KGRT, who am I talking with? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, wait, that's why. I hit the wrong button. I couldn't hear you. Okay. Who am I talking with? Hello? There we are. I can hear you now. Technology is a wonderful thing. I love it.
Isn't it?
Well, what's your name?
Shauna.
Hi, Shauna. So do you have something silly that you cried over?
Yeah, when I was pregnant with my first son, I cried over a dog food commercial. I can't remember what the commercial was about, but it was over dog food.
It was over dog food, and it just got the tears flowing.
Yeah. And then the ones with the safe haven, you know, with the animals that they save and they want you to send money to save them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
That commercial. And then with my second son, I cried over trains. Every time I'd hear trains, I'd start crying.
Okay, so that would be it would be amazing if your son was into model trains at that time. That would be awesome.
He loves Hot Wheels and stuff, so maybe he'll get that far.
Maybe he'll get that far. Oh, that is awesome. So, oh, wow. That sounds like too much fun. But
right? We have the trains that come through Las Cruces a lot, so
yeah.
That.
How did your family handle that? How did they handle all that?
So we were down by the railroad company. I'm not sure where you could view that old train that was sitting there.
Uh-huh.
And when just my luck, a train was coming. I just started crying, and my mom was like, "Why are you crying?" I was on the train. It's passing by, and she was like, "Do you need to get on the train?" No, but the train. And she said I just would keep crying and keep crying.
That is a good one. That is a good one right there. Well, thanks for sharing that, and thanks for calling in. And every time I think of a train passing by, I'm going to think of you now.
Right.
All right. Thanks a lot. You have a great day. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Well, trains are emotional. They really are. So once again, we are looking for answers for our question of the day, mothers. What's the silliest thing that you cried over when you were pregnant? That was awesome. In the meantime, let's go ahead and see what's going on in and around the world. The cost of hosting the big game party is going up this year. Well, not for everyone. Congratulations to our Kicker Bowl winner, Savannah. Yeah, but the food for 10 people is now estimated to be about $140. That's up 1.6% from last year. So it's a little bit more right there, but Savannah's not going to have a problem with that, is she? Tom Brady recently flaunted a luxurious $285,000 Patek Philippe's watch. Good for him. The View had no audience and empty chairs yesterday due to the polar vortex. Oh, that's a shame. Nah, it's one of my mom's favorite shows too. And speaking of giving birth, right here, I saw this one. Woman actually gave birth on highway during the winter storm. People magazine says in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a woman recently gave birth to a baby boy while en route to the hospital during the severe winter storm. Because wow, I'm hoping that they've got to pick out a storm or weather related name for that. That would be hilarious. Let's see. Just got a text message right now. It says, I cried because I sneezed and peed my pants. Well, I've heard that happens, and you gotta, I can understand that one. And it looks like I've got Antonio who's listening from, Mexico. Nice. Thanks a lot for listening in on there. So once again, we are looking for answers for our question of the day today. Mothers and family members, what's the silliest thing that you have cried over when you were pregnant? And for our family members, like I said, you can go ahead and give a few examples that you've witnessed yourself. We've already had somebody said they cried at trains, because trains are emotional. All right. So let me know your answers. Once again, call them in, text them in, leave your comments below for our question of the day, brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of